Okay, so we are ready?
Yes.
So good morning. So this is Physics Herbert C. And today we are taking the third class of this course, right? Okay, now students who have enrolled in this course have access to Moodle, and in Moodle you can find the chapter that we are studying, which is chapter number 1. I've also discussed the course outline and the syllabus in the first class. So again, in Moodle you have the link for YouTube where you can go and access this video, and you can look at the recordings of the previous 2 classes that we have. You can get all the information related to the course outline, the syllabus, plus some topics that we studied from chapter number 1. Okay? Also, so far this week, this was the first week of the semester, we've covered 1 lab during this time. Now from Monday the classes are going to be online, so which means I will send you a Zoom link, okay, to join the class on Monday. The time of the class will be the same like we have now. I will follow the official timetable that is given in Empower. So Monday 10 a.m. you can use the Zoom link to join the live class session. Okay, and of course we will continue to study using that, and since the situation, as we all know, is changing all the time, sometimes we are in a blended mode of teaching and sometimes we are in the online mode of teaching, but the important part is that we are communicating and we are understanding what we do. So you can communicate with me through my email. I have given my email to you. Again, you can see that in the recording in the course outline. My office, of course, I've also given you my office number. It's just across S20. If you are on campus, you can see me in my office during the office hours. And of course, the Zoom live session has the advantage, rather than just giving you the recording, joining you live has the advantage that you can clarify or ask anything that you want to ask during that session. Plus, I encourage you to participate in the class, and this will help you understand better. Okay, so do join these classes. So I will continue with the chapter that we are doing. This is again chapter number 1, and today I would like to talk about graphical analysis. So please make videos of 10 minutes each. Okay, switch it off and on every 10 minutes. Okay, so what do we understand by graphical analysis? It's making a graph basically, right? So I'm sure all of you know how to make a graph. You have been making graphs. So a graph is a method of presenting data in a meaningful way and then interpreting it, analyzing it, and using it to solve whatever questions you have. So you also know that in many subjects you use graphs, right? You use graphs in business, you use graphs in economics, you use graphs I think in psychology also. You do some statistical analysis, right? So there are many subjects across the board, and therefore it's an advantage that you can actually formally learn how to make a graph. I'm sure you know how to make a graph, but then again going through it will help you in practice. We know that there are advanced methods of making graphs using softwares and computers and all that, but then you always have to understand the basics of how it works. So even though we know how to type, but we always have to learn the basics, and that helps us use the technology better and understand it better. Also, in physics, when we are performing experiments in the lab, we, of course, many times make graphs in order to interpret the results that we have. Also, talking about the lab, since we are talking about online and offline modes of teaching, so when we will be able to come to campus, we will be doing the experiments in the lab. And when we are not able to come to campus, we will be performing the experiments in a virtual lab. You understand what a virtual lab is? A virtual lab is a link. I will give you a link, okay, where you can go and perform the experiments virtually. It's like a simulation. You understand that? What are physics experiments like? Physics experiments are like, for example, if you want to prove a law like F is equal to ma, right? So you want to see if you're changing the mass and you're changing the force, what's the effect on acceleration, for example. You want to take the values, the readings, right? So you can have a simulation, an applet, values, note those values, and just like an ordinary lab, do the calculations. So that's what we mean by a virtual lab. Of course, I will give you the demos and the instructions how to do it. Okay? So, as far as the assessments are concerned, we can use Moodle for quizzes, right? And when we are doing that, we also I can give you specific instructions related to that, and you follow those instructions and you'll be fine. Is that okay?
Yes.
Any questions? No. So let's come to the graph. Today I want you to do the graph. And in order to do the graph, do you have a graph paper with you? No. Do you have pencils and rulers with you? Okay. So you can start. I brought some graph papers for you, although I normally ask students to bring them themselves. But okay, just for today. Right? Like I said, even when you are taking part in the Zoom classes, I would like you to have a printout of the chapter so that you can actually follow. Because I'm not going to speak everything that's written there, so it's better for you to have it. To write your name on this. एक है दो में okay, open the chapter to the point where we have graphical analysis. Page 16. I'm not able to give you your handout. Okay? You can share with someone if you don't have the handout. Arya, you don't have it. Sorry, what's your name?
No.
Your name was? Elia. Sorry. Elia, you can share with someone. Who would like to share with Elia? Okay, chalo. Okay, so you all have the paper now. Okay, there's a table 1.4. I want you to make a graph for this. So for table, कौन सा page है ये? 16. Yes, I found it. Okay, so look at table 1.4 and try to understand how you're going to make a graph for this. So page 16, table 1.4. What's the first step you have to do when you have to make a graph? You have to decide the axis, right? You have to decide what you want to take along the x-axis and what you want to take along the y-axis. How do you decide what you want to take along the x-axis and what you want to take along the y-axis?
X-axis always independent.
Yes. The quantities, you have two quantities given in that table. You have to decide which quantity is the independent variable and which quantity is the dependent variable. So in this case, which quantity is the independent variable? Time. And which quantity is the dependent variable? Temperature. Chalo, start with this. So you need time. You have to clearly write the time with the units and then the temperature again with the units. We were talking about units, you know, and therefore you have to understand and write the right units. अच्छा, अभी लाइनें ना बनाओ, तुम पेन से बनाओगे फिर तुमसे मिस्टेक होगी. पहले रफ नोटबुक में बनाओ, फिर ग्राफ पेपर पे बनाना. Okay? First make it on your rough notebook and then make it on the graph. Okay.